Right, YouTube, what's happening? We're here just doing a little bit of a discussion, kind of a wrap-up video of all the Para 3 steel tests I did on all the Para 3 tool steel sprint runs. Okay, so I had them all. I had an M41, didn't do as much testing with that one, but the ones I mainly focused on are some of the kind of newer steels, minus 52100 not really being new, but K394V, Rex 45, Crewwear, Maximate, and 52100, the ones I tested. I did test M4 on edge stability. That was about it. There's tons of data out there on M4, so I didn't feel like, I don't know, if I needed to do that. And I sold that knife, so. But overall, I've got like a ranking. I did like a spreadsheet and everything, kept track of all of it. So what I was looking at was how they did in edge stability, edge retention, and how easy they were to strop and sharpen. Those were the things that were important to me. There was a few other things, like I was going to do corrosion resistance, but pretty much it was hard because the 4V had the coated blade, so that kind of eliminated that one. So I didn't end up doing that. So let's just go through the data and kind of talk about it. So you see 4 knives in front of you, so that should tell you the top 4 were. Now, you guys don't know what these 2 steels are. It's mystery. This one everyone knows because it's the St. Nick Sprint Run, and you guys probably know this one from some other videos. So, who did best in edge stability? Well, technically 4V, but 52100 did way good, like really good. But technically 4V I feel did better because it just literally like had 0 edge damage. It was nuts, and it was very easy to repair. The 52100 didn't chip at all, but it did roll. So second went to Rex 45. So that was pretty surprising, actually. I thought K390 did better. Rex 45 did better in edge stability. I'd say Crewwear and Maximate were all there somewhere in the middle, and M4 did the worst, man. That thing chipped like mad. It was just nothing but chips. So kind of interesting. That was, and just to remind you guys, there's a whole video series on this, and those tests were when I would pry out staples, cut into staples through cardboard, and cut wire with the knife. So steel wire. So that really just kind of tested the edge stability, like how it would do under that kind of stress. So that's pretty much, so overall I'd say 4V did the best. As far as cutting, so Maximate obviously did the best, no shocker there. It did 680 feet of cardboard, which is pretty good. The Rex 45, I only did fine edge, and it was 500. It was higher than, well, just barely shy of Maximate for fine edge. I didn't do working edge on that one. I went through like a cardboard shortage, and I don't have a ton of it. It's just kind of funny, but I would say Rex 45 did second best. 4V did third best on edge retention. K390 kind of was good, but see, 4V did better for me, and I know people are gonna be like, what? It's pretty awesome steel so far. I've been very impressed. In my testings, 4V did better in edge retention than K390. K390 was next, then Crewwear, and then 52100 pulled up the rear for sure. It was horrible. Actually, it barely cut. It was like 180 feet. Something crazy. And it's not really known for its edge stability or edge retention. So overall, Maximate was the winner there. No surprise there, though. But again, Rex 45, really good. And 4V, really good. Okay, so the next one was kind of how easy they were to strop after doing the cut tests. 52100 was the easiest, which is no surprise because it had the worst edge retention. But the one that really kind of surprised me was CPM 4V again. It was super easy to get back to sharpness. It didn't take long at all on the strop. So I was really surprised. I think it did the best minus 52100. The hardest one was Maximate. It stropped, but it just didn't get as sharp after the stropping. Unlike Crewwear did pretty well. K390 good. Rex 45 took a little more time, but it did pretty good as well. But overall, the best for stropping, or I call it stroppability, was 52100, but then 4V was very close. So, all right. So how about sharpening? I did this I ranked these basically on how many strokes it took me on my wicked edge to get a burr, to form a burr. 52-100 was very easy. 4V again was pretty dang easy. It was actually pretty much crew wear was a little easier to get back than 4V. Actually, crew wear is the easiest, surprisingly. Only took like 20 passes. It's pretty crazy. The one that really shocked me was Maximate. I was expecting this just bear of a sharpening, and you guys probably watched my sharpening video on it. It was not that hard to sharpen at all. I kept the factory angle at 18 degrees on the first round and only took 25, I'd say 30 passes. So Rex 45 took 45 and K390 took 42. And that was pretty shocking. The Rex 45 was actually the hardest to sharpen, even more than the Maximate, which I reprofiled this to 15 degrees, and I didn't reprofile that. So that, I mean, you know, take that in consideration. But these two are pretty hard to sharpen. Not hard, but they took longer. They took 45. This one took 42 passes. This took 45 passes. Like I said, Maximate took 30, but again, I kept the factory angle. The second sharpening of Maximate, I did reprofile to 15.5 degrees, and again, it wasn't that bad. It didn't take that long. So, surprisingly, Maximate wasn't the hardest to sharpen. It was actually Rex. So, kind of funny on that. Again, though, 4V, man. I mean, 4V came through. It tested good in everything. It just did great. It's just a good steel, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I wish more knives were made in it. I can't think of hardly any that are made besides this 4V sprint runs from Spyderco, the Shaman, the Terra 3, and the Little Native. I can't think. I'm sure there's some custom brake makers out there using it, but it's a fantastic steel. It is. I'll just go ahead and say it. It's my favorite tool steel. Just said it. It was such a well balanced steel. It did great in everything. Edge stability, oh my gosh, wear resistance with the cut test. It was easy to sharpen. It was easy to strop. It just was a good steel. I mean, if you're looking for an overall like performing, steel that does everything good, 4V is it. 4V is it. I'm telling, this is my experience and my testing, but I did a lot of testing, so you may find different, everyone's going to find different results probably, but man, I was super impressed with 4V. I would say probably my second favorite was Rex 45. It was, again, it was one of the hardest to sharpen, but it did really good edge stability. It did fantastic in edge retention. Just really, really did. I swapped up my micarta scales. This is the Rex 45. Really, really like that one. I would go Maximate next. I was actually pretty surprised at how well it sharpened, how it didn't take too long. It cut forever and ever, which is what it's supposed to do, and it did pretty good in edge stability as well. K390 is good. The jury's out on this steel for me because everyone's ranting and raving of it, and it was good. The edge stability did much better on the second round of edge stability testing, not on a factory edge. It did pretty dang good. It was pretty close to 4V. But 4V was on the factory edge. That's the most incredible thing about this, is I did the edge stability testing on the factory edge on this guy, and it did better than anything. Even guys that, like the K390, they've been sharpened. The Rex had been sharpened. Most of them had been sharpened. So, that was the most impressive to me. I do like K390. I think it's a good steel. I think it's right up there with these guys. It's not a lot. You're not talking a lot of difference. I want to kind of do another round of edge retention on this guy just to see how it does. I'm sure it'll be right up there with the Rex, and probably a little bit more than the 4V, I would think. What is all over that screw? It's all marred up. But yeah, overall, guys, the winner, in my opinion, and I shouldn't say the winner, but my favorite tool steel was 4V. I really, really would like to see more companies use this steel. It's fantastic. It's like 3V on steroids. It's just as tough as 3V in my opinion, but it holds an edge way longer. 3V is not, maybe it's not just as tough, but it's very, very close to the edge stability and toughness of 3V, but the edge retention is a lot better. It's kind of like you combine M4, which is known for good edge retention, and 3V together, and you got 4V. It's, I'm not talking about the composition of the steel or anything like that. I'm not getting into that scientific stuff in this video, That's not my intent. It was never my intent of this video series either. There's lots of good channels for that. Check out Big Brown Bear. Check out Super Steel Steve. A couple of those guys that have just a little bit better, not a little bit, a lot better knowledge of metallurgy than I do. Knife Steel Nerds on the internet is a great website for that. I'm not getting into the competition. I'm getting into kind of more real world use that I did, that I tested, and these are just my results based on those different types of tests I did. So hope it helps you guys. Hope it was a good series. It was a freaking ton of work to do those videos, and there was a lot of knives bought. I ended up selling a few of those sprint runs, so now this is the 4 that I'm keeping. Again, my top 4 steels of the tool steels that Spyderco makes. That's why I kept these. Now, the cool thing is Rex 45 was a close second, and it actually is readily available. Okay, I shouldn't say readily. Going to be lots of sprint runs and exclusives comes out in Rex 45 next year. Spyderco just announced a ton of them, so you shouldn't have a hard time getting your hands on it. 4V, though, is still really difficult to get. So if I have to go out a steel that's, the easiest to get is Maximate, man. It's a regular production steel now for Spyderco. They sell the Pair 2, Pair 3, Native 5, Manix, all of that in Maximate, and it's a regular production. It's not a sprint run, not an exclusive. You can get it anytime. It's about $190 for a Maximate Pair 3. And honestly, like, I have a hard time finding a steel that you can get that's more regular. It's better than M390 in a lot of ways, and it's readily available, so I think if you're looking for the best you can get on a regular basis, I'd go Maximate. But if you can get your hands on some 4V guys or some Rex 45, man, definitely do it. I'm again pleading with other companies to use 4V because it's a fantastic, underrated steel. I don't hear as much hype on 4V as I do these other steels, and maybe it's just because it's harder to get. I don't know. But that was my favorite tool steel that I tested, and my favorite sprint run. I need to do a skinny mod on these scales. I like the red. Thought about swapping them to my card. I might eventually, but yeah. Anyway, guys, kind of ramble at this point, but that's my results. That's from all that testing. Conclusion I came to. 4V was the king for me. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.